Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a veterinary clinic in Minecraft for all of your city building needs. In this tutorial, not only will I show you how to make the entire outside of the build, but I will also show you how to make the entire inside as well. Fun fact, I am hidden somewhere in the intro of this video. Let me know if, where, when and how you spotted me down below in the comment section. This is the amount of space required to make the build, including a handy grid, which you may choose to copy, that will show you the starting position. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin the build by placing 3 light grey concrete in a row on the ground. 1, 2, 3. Then place 3 light blue stained glass. 1, 2, 3. Then place a white concrete, light blue stained glass pane, leave a gap, place another pane, then a white concrete, 3 more light blue stained glass, 1, 2, 3. Then place 7 light grey concrete, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then extend backwards by 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then extend all the way across the back of the build and join all the way to the front of the build to form a rectangular shape like this. Then grab white concrete and on top of the very first light grey concrete block we placed, place 5 white concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which we can then extend all the way across to the right and down, and then all the way to the back of the build and down and across the back of the build and down, and then all the way back to the front of the build. Just like this. We can then fill the left side of the build in using white concrete. We can then fill the back of the build in with white concrete. And then the right side of the building with white concrete as well. Also, whilst we're up here, let's add a layer of smooth quartz slab extending all the way along the top of our white concrete walls. And let's also fill the top of our build in using polished andesite. This is going to be the roof. Now that we have filled in the roof, we can come all the way back down to the front of the build, and we can start off by placing rows of white concrete on top of our light grey concrete, extending all the way up to the very top of the build, like this. We can do the same with the white concrete. We can just extend the white concrete all the way up to the top of the build, like so. Then we will add 2 more rows of both the glass block and the glass pane on top of those rows. Then we can just fill above these in using white concrete, and that applies for the door here as well. So we'll just fill across the top in like this to form the entrance. And with the entrance, it's up to you whether you want to leave it like this, or if you would like to suspend an end rod in front of the middle blocks of the glass pane rows. I personally like it because it also emits light, which is quite handy. Next, we are going to line up with the middle of each window, leave a gap of 1, and place 3, 1, 2, 3 pillar quartz extending up from the ground like this. And the same here as well. Middle row, leave a gap, 1, 2, 3. We can then place a row of smooth quartz slab that extends all the way around the edge of the pillar quartz and connects back to the build itself. Then we can place 2 rows of cyan concrete on top of the front of this. So the cyan just leaves a gap on the left and the right like this. And then we are going to stack up some smooth quartz slab all the way around the cyan concrete like this, so along the sides and across the top. We'll then add 2 rows of cyan concrete here, just connecting back to the building itself, just on the left and right side, to add a little bit of colour. Then we're going to fill the top of this in using smooth quartz slab, just like this. And then we're just going to drop underneath. And it's kind of up to you. There's a few different ways that we can actually handle this area. So we can kind of fill this in with cyan concrete, which I think is probably the nicest option. You could also add some lighting underneath here as well. You can fill the entire area in with slab, but that kind of cuts the door off. And you wouldn't really want to have it like here because it kind of shortens this area. So my recommendation is to kind of like leave it like this. So kind of just fill in those little gaps to the side maybe and kind of keep this open. Next, we are going to add some oak leaves extending along the right, the back, and the left side of the clinic, making sure that the leaves just overhang the build by 1 row. And then we are going to remove the grass extending from the leaves inwards. We're going to replace it with podzol, leading all the way to here, and we'll do the same on the opposite side as well. And then, leaving a gap from the leaf, every other block we will place an azalea. So it just looks a little bit fancier this way. We also want to make a giant paw print. It actually starts above this azalea here. We're using polished blackstone slabs for this, and we'll create a solid block with upside down polished blackstone stairs left and right. Place regular stairs on top, faced outwards, with another polished block in between. Extend the center block up, and then in this position here, we will place a solid block, and here, a solid block. Then, we are going to have 2 more, here, and here. It's kind of hard to describe their position, but I think it's quite easy to see where you actually place them, now that we're looking at it. Now, from here, we are going to remove 2 entire rows from in front of the podzol / leaf row. And we're also going to dig in towards the center of the clinic as well, so towards the door. And we're just going to fill all of this area in using smooth stone. So this is my general pavement or sidewalk material of choice. And I think that it works rather nicely. Then we are going to extend these 3 blocks that coincide with the walkway outwards towards the edge of the grid. We'll add another row, left and right, and we will fill these in with smooth stone, just like so. Then here we will place 1, 2, 3 yellow carpet, leave a gap, 1, 2, 3. Same on the opposite side, but there's one more spot. So 1, 2, 3 yellow, gap, 1, 2, 3, gap, 1, 2, 3. And then we will split these rows of carpet down the middle, and we'll replace these rows with white concrete powder. And then we will remove all of the grass and the grid. And we will replace all of this with grey concrete. And that gives us some car parking spaces. Next, we have to make the sign. To do this, we will throw down a loom, open it up, place a white banner in there with some red dye. First of all, we're just going to write out the word vet in red letters. So V is Pale Dexter, followed by Ben Sinister. E is Pale Dexter, Chief, Fess, and Base. T is Pale, Chief. So we want the word vet in red letters, but clinic in black. So brand new banner, black dye. The first letter is C. This is Chief, Base, and Pale Dexter. Next is L, Pale Dexter, and Base. Next is I, this is just Pale. Next is N, that's Pale Dexter, Pale Sinister, and Bend. Next would be I again, and then it would be C again. But luckily, we already have these letters, so we can take each one of these banners, and in order, starting here, V, E, T, C, L, I, N, I, C. Vet Clinic. With the entire outside of the build complete, let's head inside and work on the interior. First of all, we are going to divide the inside of the clinic up. To do this, we will leave a gap of 1 from this block, and then place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 light grey concrete extending towards the back of the build. Place a white concrete behind, and extend the white concrete left and right like this. Remove a block in the ground either side, and place quartz bricks in its place with an oak door on top of the bricks. We then place rows of white concrete extending all the way outwards to both walls, like this. We extend this white concrete all the way to the back to make a small room here. And then on this side, we have to do some counting. We want to count and find the 8th block along this back wall. So, starting here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we will divide this room up. So now we want to extend this light grey concrete across and connect to this wall. We then leave a gap of 1 behind this, and then we stack up rows of white concrete extending all the way up to the ceiling like so. As a matter of fact, the ceiling itself, we have to actually drop it down 1 row. So this is actually a good time before we start adding in a bunch of walls extending up that kind of like get in the way, just like I have here. Add another row of polished andesite underneath the pre-existing row, and this shrinks the clinic down into the amount of space that we need. This is probably the first thing that we should have done, but you know what? Not every single one of my decisions makes sense. So now that we have dropped the ceiling, the next thing we will do is extend up these walls. So these are going to shrink the amount of space that we have inside of the clinic, and they are also going to form separate rooms at the same time. We actually have to add another door as well, so we'll do that when we're actually in the room. Perfect. So we extend up all of the rows of white concrete, as you've seen, and we will leave the rows of light grey. So now we are going to move into this room. We will leave a gap of 2 here in this wall, 1, 2, and then here we will have another door. So the door will be positioned right here. In addition to this, we are now going to remove all of the grass block inside of our rooms and replace it with quartz bricks. So I'm just going to do this room by room. And then this smaller room here. And then finally, this room here. An option, whilst we are destroying blocks, is to replace underneath these windows. I like using sea lanterns quite a lot, but I do actually get a fair amount of feedback of people that don't, for some reason, like sea lanterns. I don't know why you guys don't like the ocean, but I really like them. But if not, a solid option is to place light grey concrete and or white concrete underneath the windows. I wouldn't leave them as grass, that would probably clash a little bit too much, but you can if you want. Next, let's make a fish tank. In the reception area / waiting room at the front of the clinic, there is a fish tank along this back wall. We have to add sand to the base of it, glass here, water here, add some seagrass in here, some sea pickles, maybe a bit of kelp, and some of your favourite corals. Now that we have decorated the tank, we can add another row of glass to the front of it. We can also add stone buttons across the base of the tank, just leaving a gap in between each other. And we will also want to destroy into the ceiling above the tank, just like this. Then we will add a row of light grey concrete just across the top, move outside, up to the roof. Then we can add an extra row of water inside of the tank to fill it up. Add a few fish in here, whichever your favourites are. I'm going to add sea lanterns to the top of the tank, like this. And then I can just repair the roof. If we drop back down into the clinic, that's perfect. Have you ever seen happier fish? Next, we will place an oxidized cut copper stairs here and here. Leave a gap of 1 in front of these, and then place another set of stairs. Then, we will place a 1x1 painting here in this position, leave a gap of 1, and then another, just like so. Then, on this reception desk, we will place a heavy weighted pressure plate here, barrier here, painting here. Then we will place an item frame here with something in it. I'm just going to place a bone. Flower pot here. And then a lantern here. We also just have to place some cyan carpet in front of the reception desk as well. Next, we want to move behind the reception desk. And in this corner, we will remove a 2x2 square of the quartz bricks and place red wool there instead. white carpet here, blue carpet here, item frame here. We then want to split this wall in half with a row of white concrete like this, and we will extend the top of this across to the right. Then, to the left, we place oak trapdoors flipped up here, and we install a shelf of smooth quartz slab just across the top of this, which we can then place glass on, and then some smooth quartz slabs across the top of that. The idea here is that these are just holding cages for various animals. On the bottom, we have a space more fit for larger animals, dogs and cats, and maybe sheep and pigs if you'd like. And up here we can have like rabbits and birds, and I mean, I suppose you could fill this with water and add fish as well if you liked, but regardless, we are now going to move into this room where we actually want to make pretty much the exact same thing. So in this corner here, we are going to remove a 2x2 square, replace that with red wool, white carpet here, blue carpet here, item frame here. We're then going to split this wall up like this, and then we are going to add a shelf here, oak trapdoors here, and then glass here, and then smooth quartz slab here. But on the other side, we're going to do the same thing again. So we'll remove a 2x2 square, replace this with red wool, then blue carpet, white carpet, item frame, add the oak trapdoors, then smooth quartz slabs here, then glass here, and then the smooth quartz slabs here. And then we're just going to add some white concrete off to the side of this, as along this wall, along this back wall, we actually want to add some tanks for the fish and some amphibians. So we are going to place a row of white concrete here just to fill in this gap. And then 2 light grey concrete to the right of this block. 1, 2. And then a white concrete to the right of that. Light grey concrete to the right of that. Connect the white concrete to the back wall and then extend it all the way up. Add sand behind these light grey concrete blocks with a row of glass in front. We will then add water, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of seagrass in here. Then podzol above this. Light grey concrete in front of that. Ferns inside of the podzol, or on the podzol, actually makes more sense. And then we can just add some glass. So I have 2 optional extras for you. You may want to consider adding a ladder in between these tanks at the back so that we can climb up and take a little bit of a peek inside of them. And you may want to remove these 2 blocks here, place hay in here, item frame here, carrot here, add some oak trapdoors here, and then 1 here, and that creates just a little bit of a hutch where we can keep rabbits. Moving back through into the reception, there is one last thing that we must add in here. First of all, some sea lanterns here, and here, like this. Then, iron trapdoors here, brewing stand here, light blue candles here, item frames behind this with potions of healing inside. Then we have to seal this up with some glass and an iron bar here. So this is obviously medication for the animals. So the reason that we waited to make the medicine cabinet, as I'll call it, is because not only do we have one of these in here, but we have one in the vet's office as well. So if we move through into this room, we want to count to the right of the door. 1, 2, 3. Place 1, 2, 3. Smooth quartz stairs like this. We actually want to flare them on the ends so that they face inwards like this. This is meant to be a desk. To the right of this, we want to stack a row of white concrete all the way up to the ceiling. And we are also going to extend it all the way over to the left here and all the way to the right. And we'll actually drop down on the right just like this. Then we actually make this cabinet the same way as we made the other. We just fill this little gap in here, add sea lanterns to the top, to the bottom. We had iron trapdoors here, brewing stand, can doors, item frames, potions of healing. Seal this up with some glass and then an iron bar here. Next, we are going to fill the back of this area in here with black concrete. Add a row of smooth quartz slab here. Then we want to place a 1x1 painting here, right in the middle. That one will work just fine. Rails here. Stone button here. I want it facing this way. Flower pot here. Poppy here. End rod here. And then oak pressure plate here. So this is meant to be a computer. Next, on this back wall here, we will remove a 2x3 row of white concrete. Then place cyan terracotta here. Black concrete here. Stone buttons here. And then one black banner here. Then we're going to make another one by placing a black banner in a loom with a school charge banner pattern and white dye. And then we're just going to stick it here. And this is meant to look like an X-ray reader. Then we will leave a gap of 1 from here and place 2 iron bars. And a gap of 1 from here and place 2 iron bars. String in between them. And then white carpet across the top to make an exam table. Add some item frames to the wall. And add different tools in here. So whichever ones you would like to add. I mean, some of these don't really look appropriate for veterinary practice, but you know, what do I know? And with that final detail added, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially completed our veterinary clinic. However, this video is not over. We must now add our veterinary clinic into our city. I have absolutely no idea why these two go together in my mind, but I really want the veterinary clinic near the dentist's office. It honestly doesn't make a massive amount of sense. And yet, here we are. The veterinary clinic will live next to the dentist's office in the new suburban suburbs. For now, at least. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this tutorial, please remember to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Also, consider becoming a channel member. You will gain access to loyalty badges, some fun emojis, and a monthly download for every single build used in our city. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.